My beloved child, sit down for a moment. Be still, and let your heart open like a door waiting to receive the light of dawn. You've been running for too long, thinking too much, struggling in battles so invisible that even you cannot name them. But now, I need you to stop, not to give up, but to listen. To listen not only with your ears, but with your soul that is yearning for a word from the heavenly realm. Let every other sound fade away. Let your worries retreat for a moment, and incline your heart toward me. For I do not come to you with thunderous roar, nor do I break the silence with terrifying power. I come like a whisper, gentle yet true. A whisper that, if you dare to listen, will alter the very course of your destiny. Do you remember? Those fleeting moments when your heart was suddenly stirred, when an unnamed emotion brushed gently against your soul? In those moments, it was I who drew near. But you, distracted, doubtful, still wounded from old scars, turned away. Yet I am not angry with you. On the contrary, I have been waiting patiently for you to return. Like a father who stands at the threshold, eyes never leaving the path, not even for a second. And today, I am not merely knocking on the door of your heart as before. I am opening the door of my own heart, inviting you in to embrace a deeper truth you are not yet ready to receive until now. My child, something is quietly approaching you, not like a screaming enemy on the battlefield, but like a shadow creeping under the dim light of your most ordinary choices. It doesn't come with a terrifying face that would cause alarm, but is cloaked in the familiar compromise, weariness, and indifference. It hides within what seems harmless, a cold glance, a gentle refusal, silence when you should speak, retreat when you ought to move forward. Slowly, it dulls your spiritual vision, convincing you that everything is fine, that delay is no threat, that zeal does not need to be eternal. But I tell you, in that very sense of normalcy, a subtle scheme is being woven. Not by you, but by the enemy of your soul. It does not need to strike hard to bring you down. It only needs to make you forget the light within you. Forget that you were once called, once chosen, once burning like a torch in the night. All it takes is a soft whisper of doubt, a quiet discouragement, and piece by piece, it draws you away from the source of life, me. And I know you have already felt it at times, a faint fracture within your heart, a nameless fatigue, a sigh you cannot explain. Do not ignore these signs, for they are the alarm bells of your soul. My child, I do not blame you for being weak. I know you were formed from dust, fragile and easily broken. But I also know there is something within you that makes hell tremble. It is my name engraved upon your soul. It is the anointing I poured out on you from the beginning. It is the promise I sealed in the blood of my only Son. And because of that, I cannot let you slip from my grasp without warning. I cannot stay silent while you're being slowly pulled away from the light. I cannot hold my peace while the enemy lurks, because you are not just any child. You are my chosen messenger among countless souls. So today, rise up, not in outward haste, but with a deep awakening from within. Examine the path you walk, every step, every small decision. Do not allow yourself to live halfway anymore, neither cold nor hot, merely existing without truly living. For I have promised you life in abundance, and no power in heaven or hell has the right to take that from you unless you surrender it willingly. Remember, my child, what I once spoke to you in the loneliest nights. What did I promise you? What did I remind you of? Do not let those words be buried beneath the dust of passing time. Go back and reopen the ancient wells you've allowed to run dry. Recall the times your tears fell because you were moved by my presence. For I am still here, still holding your hand, still waiting for you to believe once more. Do not fear when I reveal the truth, my child. For anything I expose is not meant to condemn, but to heal. If I unveil what is lurking around you, it is because I long to give you the power to stand against it. If I speak and say that the light within you is dimming, it is only because I am ready to reignite that flame with the breath of my spirit. But I cannot do so if you continue to ignore my voice, if you keep making excuses, if you keep delaying and running away. This is the critical moment. Not some distant day in a vague future, but today. You are at a crossroads. One path leads to a subtle compromise that dries up the soul. The other is the rugged path of glory I have chosen for you. And I am standing at that intersection, my hand extended, my eyes filled with sorrow but also with hope. And I ask you, which way will you go? Do not let the enemy answer for you. Do not let fear make your decisions. Do not allow past wounds to choke the breath of new faith within you. Take the step, just one brave step, and I promise I will walk with you to the very end of the path. Because, my beloved, you are not alone. I am the one who sees what you cannot, who hears whispers from the unseen that you have not yet perceived. And because I love you, I cannot stay silent any longer. I must speak, clearly, urgently, and full of love. For what is coming can change everything. And what I long for most is that you do not stray from the glorious plan I have written just for your life. Rise up now, my child. Embrace the light. Throw off the heavy garments of fear, doubt, and guilt. Let me clothe you in a new robe, a robe of divine identity, of restoration, of glory you have not yet tasted. I have waited for this day, and you too have longed for it, even if you could not name that longing. So do not delay any longer, my beloved child. I am not speaking to frighten you, but to awaken you, not to condemn, but to restore, not to accuse, but to open the path of freedom. The kind of freedom that can only be fully lived when you walk it with me. Only then will your life shine as it was always meant to. My precious one, this is the moment where I can no longer remain silent. I cannot stand by as you continue walking through the mist, unaware of how close you are to the edge. I cannot let you remain blind to the spiritual reality surrounding you, not even for one more moment. That is why I have come. Not with abstract words, not with vague symbols, but with living truth, clear, direct, and saturated with love. I have come to show you what you must see, what you must know, and what you must confront. My child, there is a battle raging around you, a battle unceasing and unseen by the eyes of flesh, but your soul has felt its tremors many times. It is the battle between light and darkness, between the voice of life and the whisper that pulls you into emptiness. Can you feel it? That tension plays out in your daily decisions, in the moments you chose silence when you were meant to speak, in the times you compromised when you were called to stand in truth. The enemy does not come to you cloaked in terrifying images like those from fairy tales. No, it comes wrapped in sweet words, in emotions that seem harmless, in doors that appear favorable, but lead only to dead ends. It plants gentle confusion in your heart, and from there, little by little, it begins to distort your spiritual vision until you can no longer discern light from darkness. And the greatest danger of all is this: it makes you believe that everything is fine, that there is nothing to worry about. But I have come to tell you this: you were not born to merely be fine or to simply exist. You were born to overcome, to shine, to carry the glory of the one who chose you from among the nations. I did not create you to live a weary spiritual life, but to become a mighty warrior in the army of the kingdom of heaven. And for that to become reality, you must let my word, the living word, take root deeply in your soul, not merely to hear, but to listen with humility, not merely to remember, but to guard it as a precious treasure. For what I am about to speak to you is not mere advice. It is a strategy for survival, a revelation crafted specifically for this moment in your life. If you receive it, it will become an unshakable foundation. But if you ignore it, you will find yourself shaken in the days to come. Look back at the days behind you, my child. Were there not moments when your heart stirred without understanding why? A single phrase that lingered in your thoughts for hours? A dream that left you confused for days? Or a quiet sadness that settled in your soul with no clear cause? These were not coincidences. They were the gentle whispers of my spirit, trying to awaken you from spiritual slumber, reminding you that something deeper is waiting to be discovered. I have never ceased speaking to you through the soft light of dawn, through the eyes of a stranger, through the silent moments of the midnight hour. But you, overwhelmed, anxious, and weary, have not recognized it. I do not condemn you, my beloved. On the contrary, I have great compassion for you. For I know you did not intentionally turn away, but that you are lost among the many voices of this world. You are trying to maintain balance, trying to walk without the true light to guide your path. You are surrounded by the counsel of men, but lack the confirmation that comes from heaven. And today, I have come to be that confirmation for you. My child, let me make this perfectly clear. I have never left you. Even when you felt empty, even when you doubted my presence, I have always been there, never farther than a single breath away. I see the tears you hide. I hear the sighs that no one else hears. I touch you in your sleep, in your vague longing, in the dazed look you cast toward the future when you cannot see a way out. And in all those moments, I did not abandon you. It is because I love you so deeply that I can no longer remain silent. Now you must realize this: the battle you are facing is not random. It is part of hell's scheme to stop you from stepping into the destiny I have appointed for you. But at the same time, it is also your opportunity. An opportunity to rise like never before. An opportunity to break free from indifference, to rekindle the fire within, and to emerge as a child bearing the image of the Almighty. Lift your head high, my child, for I am giving you a new weapon, not one made of steel, but of revelation. Not with fists, but with my word. When you take hold of this divine word, when you dare to believe and stand boldly in the truth, You will witness invisible chains shatter. You will witness invisible chains shatter. You will see fear dissolve. You will see light return to eyes that once seemed void of hope. But you must decide. No one can choose for you. Not even an angel can say yes in your place. I have waited a long time for this very moment, the moment you would dare to stand up, not because you feel strong, but because you know the one who stands with you is the one who never fails. I have equipped you with everything. Absolutely nothing is lacking. But now I need you to step out of the shadows of hesitation, delay, and doubt, and walk into the land that has been promised. My child, do you know why I speak to you with such urgency today? Because I see clearly that you are standing on the edge of danger, even if you don't realize it. I do not come to threaten you with frightening things, but to expose a reality that is quietly unfolding within your soul. A reality that, unless illuminated by my light, will continue to consume you little by little. I have come, not merely to warn you about external events that may occur, but to pull your spirit out of the spiritual slumber that is slowly corroding your inner life. You do not see it clearly, because it doesn't come like a violent storm or a great disaster crashing down to shake your world. No, it is more subtle than that. It comes like a gentle breeze, like a small whisper speaking seemingly harmless words into your ear. This is just temporary. Everything will be fine. There's no need to worry. You're doing okay. These words sound soft, even reasonable, but they pour out from the mouth of the deceiver, the one who wants to keep your soul wrapped in the sweet darkness of indifference. At first, you didn't notice. Everything still looked fine. You still went to church, still read a few verses from Scripture, still maintained an outward appearance of devotion. But on a deeper level, your heart began to dry out, no longer longing for my presence as it once did. The fire that once burned brightly within you has shrunk to faint embers. The joy you once found in worship has faded into a sense of duty. Prayer has become a dry routine, no longer the living stream flowing from your soul toward heaven. You began to compromise, not with major decisions, but with small steps, little by little. A small hesitation in obedience, a subtle denial of the inner stirring, a gentle dismissal of the Spirit's whisper. And before you knew it, you had drifted away from the place of safety, from the place where you once heard my voice most clearly, from the place where you were once saturated with my sweet presence. I see you surrounded by the empty promises of the world. They tell you they will give you freedom, but they bind you in chains. They put on a dazzling display, but when you walk in, all you find is emptiness. The things you thought were blessings turned out to be sugar-coated traps. Relationships that seemed to offer understanding ended up draining your soul. Opportunities that looked like divine doors were actually dead ends, leading to exhaustion and inner barrenness. My child, I do not blame you for being deceived. I know this world is full of seductive snares. I know the enemy does not come as a terrifying beast, but as an angel of light. But I cannot stay silent while you are slowly losing the most precious thing of all, your communion with me. I cannot hold back my voice when I see you, the one I love with all my heart, letting the darkness eat away at your soul, piece by piece, while you continue believing that everything is still okay. Look deep within your heart. Do you feel the dryness growing? Did you once sense me more clearly, more profoundly? but now everything feels distant and dim? Did you once weep in my presence, but now you find your heart empty, unmoved? Don't deceive yourself by calling this just a season. Don't soothe your conscience by saying this is normal. Don't let indifference become a permanent part of your spiritual life. I have come to awaken you, to lift you up, not to burden you with guilt, but to restore you. Not to fill you with fear, but to remind you that there is a love still waiting for your return. I have never left you. Even as you drifted far, I remained, watching over you. My hand ready to pull you back. My heart always open to welcome you home. I know there are times when you wonder, how could I ever come back when I've gone so far? But my beloved child, it is never too late with me. One cry of "help me" from the depths of your soul is enough to shake all of heaven. One whispered "I repent" from your lips is enough to silence every accuser. One small step toward me is enough for me to run to you and wrap you in my embrace. You don't need to have everything perfect in order to return. You just need to be honest. You don't have to present any justification. You only need to open your heart. I already know all the things you've hidden. I've seen the things you haven't dared to say to anyone. And I am not shocked. On the contrary, I love you even more than you can imagine. My love is not based on your achievements. It doesn't fluctuate with your emotions. It is steady, unshakable, because I am the unchanging one. So today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Don't wait until everything collapses before you cry out. Don't wait until the darkness swallows you whole before you search for the light. Come back to me, right now. Let me break the chains that have held you captive. Let me reignite the fire that once burned in your heart. Let me cleanse what you thought was beyond forgiveness. Because I am the God of mercy. I am the restorer. I am the source of life. I will rebuild you. Not the old way, but a new one. Stronger, deeper, more ablaze. I will set your feet upon solid ground again. I will restore every lost year. I will give you new spiritual eyes to discern the schemes of the enemy. I will train your hands for battle, and I will fill your heart with peace that surpasses all understanding. But first, you must realize, you need me, not in part, not occasionally, but completely. Because if I am not your all, it will be easy for you to be drawn away again. But if you make me your center, then nothing, no power, will be able to defeat you. My beloved child, I am here, not to point out your faults, but to lead you out of the darkness, not to interrogate you, but to heal you, not to condemn you, but to restore you. Come, fall into my arms, for it is here in the unchanging love of mine that you will rediscover who you are, and nothing, no temptation, no wound, no lie, will be able to snatch you from my hand again. If you choose to return, I will guard you, and what I have begun in you, I will bring to completion, forever. My beloved, now is the time to stop locking the door of your heart. Don't build walls between you and me. Walls made of fear, of self-protection, of shame, or the belief that you must carry everything on your own. I have not come to judge you, nor to condemn the cracks in your faith. On the contrary, I come as a compassionate father, gently knocking on the door of your soul, carrying a tender invitation. Let me in, so I can bring you out of the storm. My child, this is not the moment to close yourself off. This is not the time to pretend that you're okay when deep inside you are breaking apart, piece by piece. I haven't come to reopen the old wounds of your past as if they were your sentence. I have come to reveal the way out, to say there is still a path ahead, and that path leads to light, to healing, to the kind of life your soul has longed for every single day. Do not let guilt turn your face away from me. Do not allow unhealed wounds to convince you that I no longer want to draw near to you. The truth is this: it is precisely in your weakest moments that I am closest. It is when you cannot find the words that the cry of your heart rises up to heaven. You were not alone in the darkness, not abandoned in the silent spaces between breaths. I was there with every heavy breath, every hidden tear, every time you wanted to give up but chose to keep trying. I know, on the outside you are trying to stay strong. You appear calm, wise, composed in the eyes of others, but I see the parts within you that no one else sees. I see the unanswered questions. I hear your heart asking, why do I still feel empty, even when everything around me seems fine? I sense the inner struggle of your spirit, that deep knowing you need something more, something sacred, lasting, and true, yet you're unsure how to reach for it. And my beloved, that is why I have come. Not to demand perfection before you can be received, but to embrace you, even in your brokenness. I come to extend my hand when you have no strength left, to lift you up when you've collapsed for far too long, to whisper into your soul, I am still here, and I have never abandoned you. You no longer need to pretend to be okay. I am not moved by masks or impressed by well-crafted facades. I am looking for your real heart, whether it trembles, aches, or feels shattered. I come to comfort your soul like the morning dew gently refreshing dry, cracked ground, to restore in you a hope no force of darkness can steal, to remind you that even when you feel aimless, I still have a sure and steady plan for your life, a plan unshaken by your missteps or temporary defeats. You feel like you're losing control, don't you? Something in the air, something in the recent events has stirred a sense of unrest, as though something is shifting around you, something you can't quite define, can't grasp, can't manage. You are not imagining it, it is real. A spiritual shaking is approaching, and that is why I am speaking now. Because without me as your foundation, your soul will continue to sway in the storm with no name. But you do not have to weather this alone. I am the one who lifts you when your feet grow weary. I am the place where you can fall without fear of judgment. I am the shelter you can run to in a world full of uncertainty. You don't have to keep straining anymore. Let me carry the heaviest part for you. Allow me to take my place at the center of your life, not as a guest, but as the true owner, the one who will direct every detail with boundless wisdom and unending love. You can begin again. You can find solid covering, not because you are good enough, but because I am unchanging. My love does not fluctuate with time. It does not lessen when you fail, and it never withdraws when you stumble. There is only one thing you need to do. Open your heart. Do not delay any longer. Don't let the pain of the past hold your feet in place. Don't let the accusations of the enemy slam shut the door of hope. You are not defined by what you have done. You are defined by the one who has chosen you, by the words I spoke over you before the foundations of the world were laid. So today I am calling you back, not as a trembling sinner, but as a welcome child. Let me wipe away your tears. Let me mend the shattered pieces no one else has been able to touch. Let me heal what you thought could never be restored. I can and I am willing. My beloved child, if you feel weak, that does not disappoint me. On the contrary, that is when I can manifest my power the most. When you admit that you need help, that is when the gates of heaven begin to open. When you let go of the belief that you must control everything, that is when I begin to move supernaturally in your life. I know well the silent battles you've been fighting. I understand the voiceless cries within your heart, the things you cannot speak of to anyone. And today, I've come to tell you, I hear, I understand, and I will not let you fall. You don't have to walk alone anymore. You don't have to keep fighting in silence. You don't have to keep pretending that everything's fine. Come, as you are, and let me take care of the rest. I will heal you layer by layer. I will restore you from the deepest places. I will return to you what the enemy has stolen. There is nothing lost that I cannot make new. There is no dream too late to revive, no wound too deep for me to heal. My child, the help you're searching for, it is not found in the world's solutions, nor in the advice of men. It is found in me. I am the only one who can lift you from the pit, place your feet upon solid rock, and give you a fresh beginning. Do not delay. Do not doubt. Come, because today, yes, today, if you open your heart, you will see that my hand has always been waiting for you, and my arms have never closed. O my dearly beloved child, the words I speak to you today are but the first door opening into a sacred journey, where every step is guided by the light I shine before you. These are not mere sounds blown by the wind, nor words spoken only to fade into oblivion. These are words of life, birthed from my own heart, uttered from unwavering love, and sent to you as a divine signal from heaven. I need you to understand that this is not the end. What you've just heard is only the beginning. It is the surface of a deep river I am about to lead you into. I have not come to give you a brief message and leave. No. I have come to establish a lasting relationship, an unbroken communion between your heart and mine. The one who created you, who knows you more deeply than you know yourself, and who understands your future far beyond what you have ever dared to dream. My child, the things I am about to reveal are not for those who watch from afar. They are not given to those who seek me only for answers, then turn away once the storm has calmed. No. The revelations from my heart are poured out upon the soul that chooses to remain in my presence with full devotion and sincerity, if you truly want to know the path I have prepared. If you long to see the spiritual treasures unlocked in your life, then you must draw near to me. Not occasionally, not when it is convenient, but always. Do you know what that requires? It means surrendering your own will. It means complete submission. It means choosing to hear my voice above all the other noise that screams in this chaotic world. It is when you say, Lord, I don't want to just understand you with my mind. I want to live in you with my entire soul. When you do that, when you show up not just with form, but with a truly open spirit, that is when the secrets I have kept in my heart will be given to you, to no one else. Just you, the one I have chosen, the one I have called, and the one I am shaping for something far greater than you can imagine. You might be thinking, how can I stay close to you at all times when I still live in this world, with all its responsibilities, concerns, and countless demands? My child, I am not asking you to withdraw from life. I am not telling you to leave the world behind. But I desire for you to live in the world without letting the world live in you. I long for your mind to be set on me in everything you do, from the smallest step to the greatest decision. When your heart consistently turns toward me, when you learn to ask me before you react, to pray before you act, to praise instead of complain, then in that very moment, you are drawing near to me, and I am drawing near to you. My child, listen closely. What lies ahead will change the entire course of your journey. It is not a minor shift, not a trivial matter, but a turning point that can reshape your destiny, and also the lives of those who will walk after you. What is coming will be unlike anything you have experienced before. It will surpass what your imagination can grasp. And that is why I need you to be ready, not merely with empty hands, but with a wide open heart. There is much you do not yet understand. There are dreams you have forgotten, things I once whispered to your soul, but because of time, trials, and weariness, you came to believe they no longer mattered. But today I say to you, every word I have spoken still holds its weight. Not a single word has fallen to the ground. The seeds I have planted in you are beginning to sprout again, even if you cannot yet see them. And if you remain faithful by my side, I will cause them to grow into trees of life, bearing eternal fruit. My beloved child, now more than ever, you must listen attentively. For I am about to unveil before your eyes a reality that many live their whole lives without ever truly understanding. You can no longer walk like one who is blind at noonday, relying only on what your natural eyes can see or what your physical ears can hear. In this season, you cannot live by feelings alone or by old patterns. I need you to awaken, a deep awakening in your spirit, so you may discern what lies beneath the ordinary surface of the world around you. Because there is one crucial truth you must grasp if you desire to live not just a life of existence, but a life of victory and triumph. That truth is this: most of the battles you face do not come from loud, obvious enemies, nor from grand events that strike like sudden storms. On the contrary, those are merely the surface. The true danger, the silent yet deadly threat, lurks behind what seems harmless. It wears no fierce appearance. It does not come with loud alarms. It wraps itself in gentleness, speaks in soothing tones, and wears a familiar face. It enters your life through doors you never thought to guard. It may come as soft whispers in your mind, saying, "It's okay, this is only temporary." It may appear as small compromises you allow, thinking, "Just this once." It is the numbness you've grown accustomed to in your prayers, the mechanical reading of Scripture, the fading sense of reverence before my holiness. And little by little, your soul begins to freeze. Little by little, you drift away from the light. No one notices, not even you. Until one day, you're startled to find yourself entangled in pain, drowning in doubt, feeling as though you no longer belong to anything at all. My child, the enemy does not need to strike you head-on to bring you down. All it takes is slowing your faith just a little. All it takes is planting a seed of doubt in what I have spoken. All it takes is a touch of complacency in your soul. And then it will simply let you walk into a trap you won't even realize you're entering. That is why I must warn you. Do not be deceived by the appearance of being okay. Do not let the comfort of normal things blind you from the spiritual reality moving beneath the surface. You must understand that there is a deeper realm within your life, a spiritual dimension where the true battle unfolds. The human eye cannot perceive it, but your spirit must be trained to sense it. You can no longer live by feelings. You can no longer depend on human logic to interpret divine matters. You need revelation. You need a sensitive heart. You need the continual guidance of the Holy Spirit. And for that to happen, you must intentionally prepare your inner being to be a dwelling place for my presence in its fullness. Have you ever asked yourself why dry seasons keep repeating in your life? Why you often feel stuck? Why you pray, yet experience no breakthrough? My child, it may be because you've allowed small, seemingly insignificant but spiritually dangerous things to creep into your heart. Things like quiet doubt, hidden resentment, subtle pride, or fear of being hurt that keeps you from trusting fully again. These are not loud or obvious, but they are invisible chains that keep your soul suspended in a halfway place. And I did not create you to live halfway. I called you to walk on water, to touch the impossible, to burn brightly with an unquenchable flame. So I keep reminding you, stay alert. Do not let yourself be lulled to sleep by the rhythm of the familiar and forget that your soul must be guarded, nurtured, and fed with truth, hour by hour, moment by moment. Do not let weariness pull you away from the secret place. Do not let stability cause you to lose vision, for it is in the moment you think you're doing fine that you are often the most vulnerable. My child, I know there are things that shake you. There are days when you cannot explain why you feel empty, why everything feels heavy, why your prayers seem to hit a thick wall. But I say to you, it is not because I am far away. It is an alarm bell, a stirring from my spirit, urging you not to accept the current state as normal. I am awakening you. I am stirring your spirit to reclaim what was lost. Return to the secret place. Dig up the old wells. Remember the first time you trembled at the sound of my voice. Let your heart be tender again. Do not let dryness harden your soul. You are not born to live in the desert. You are called to enter the promised land, where my presence is real, near, and alive. But only those who are faithful in the secret place will receive the guidance to walk into that land. I do not speak this to frighten you. I do not conjure up dark images to make you feel guilty. On the contrary, I speak to you as a father who loves you deeply. I warn to protect. I expose danger so that you may find safety. I unveil the enemy's schemes, not to cause panic, but to lead you into freedom. Therefore, my beloved, now is the time to let go of your reliance on feelings. It is time for your eyes to no longer be your compass. It is time to walk by faith, not by what is seen. For there are things that can only be seen when your eyes are closed and your heart is open. There are directions that can only be revealed in absolute silence with me. There are doors that will not open when knocked upon in haste, but will burst wide when you knock in surrender. I am calling you back to a life of listening, not a shallow listening, but one marked by holy reverence and trembling. I am speaking, not only through Scripture, not only through dreams, but through every circumstance you are walking through the people you meet, through the doors that close, through the emptiness you feel. All of it carries a message. You are being trained for something greater. And if you accept this awakening, if you choose to return not just with your lips, but with your whole soul, then I promise you this: you will not only be delivered, but you will be commissioned, not only healed, but anointed, not only led, but appointed to lead others into light. I chose you, not because you were perfect. I chose you because I saw in you a heart that had not given up, a flame that has not yet gone out. And that alone is enough for me to begin a new masterpiece, my beloved child. I want you to be still just a little longer, for what I am about to speak will reach the deepest places of your soul. These words are not spoken to merely soothe a passing emotion, nor to stir a momentary inspiration. They are life. They are truth. They are light. Light that breaks the chains you did not even know were binding you. And today, I have not come merely to say that I love you. I have come to rescue you from a deadly snare, invisible yet lethal, that has been silently pulling you away from my embrace. But what I desire to set you free from does not appear like an obvious enemy. It is not loud, not dramatic, and does not reveal itself as a clear threat. No, it is far more subtle. It does not rush in like a storm, but drifts into your life like a gentle breeze, quiet, unbothering, unalarming. And yet, step by step, in small unnoticed details, it begins to take ground. It seeps into habits you deem harmless, into conversations that seem meaningless, into relationships you keep just because they're not really a problem. Yet they are eroding the very core of who you are. It enters through lifeless conversations, words that sound polite but carry no life, leaving you drained as you strive to uphold an image while your soul is slowly emptied. It hides in gatherings that leave you more weary than refreshed, in decisions that seem small, choosing to skip prayer because you're too busy, neglecting quiet time with me because you're too tired, postponing obedience because the timing isn't right. And when these choices repeat long enough, they quietly lay the foundation that pulls you away from me, without you even realizing how far you've gone. Do you remember those first moments when you began your journey with me, when your heart was so sensitive to my every word? When a song could move you to tears, when a single verse of Scripture felt like fire in your bones and you knew it was me speaking to you? Do you remember that feeling? You didn't lose it because someone stole it. You laid it down, piece by piece, when you traded life for convenience, traded my presence for the approval of others, traded the sacred for the rhythm of a busy world. And yes, I have seen it all. I have seen even what you try to hide from yourself. I have seen you smile at others while breaking on the inside. I have seen you act strong while collapsing in solitude. I have heard every time you whispered to yourself, "It's okay. I can handle this." My child, you don't have to keep enduring, because what you've been accepting as normal is not normal in my eyes. They are arrows. small, almost invisible, lodged in your soul. And no matter how much you try to ignore them, they are still wounds, bleeding quietly every day. Those seemingly simple habits, that's where spiritual exhaustion begins. They slow your steps. They blur the vision. They dull your sensitivity. They make it harder for you to hear me clearly the way you used to. And after a while, you begin to doubt yourself. You start wondering, maybe I'm not called anymore. Maybe I imagined too much. You begin to compare. You start withdrawing. You begin to live cautiously, half-heartedly. And that's exactly when the enemy rejoices, because it doesn't need to kill you. It only needs to make you live without fire. But today I say to you, I will not allow that to continue. I have come to shatter the invisible chains. I have come to call you back to a life where your soul truly lives, not pretentiously, not wearily, not forced. I want you to be fully restored from the inside out. I want joy to be reborn within you, not a fragile joy like a bubble, but a steadfast joy that stands firm in the face of trials. And for that to happen, you must face the truth. No excuses, no cover-ups, no delays. Look into the things you've been calling normal and ask me, Lord, is this from you? Examine every relationship, every habit, every word you speak, every thought you entertain. I have not come to condemn, but to purify, not to criticize, but to restore. You must learn again how to live, not by feeling, but by the voice of the Spirit. You must choose life in every small decision. You must dare to let go of what seems harmless, but is silently robbing you of true freedom. And I know, yes, I know that it is not easy. But I also know this: you can do it, if you will let me take your hand. My beloved child, believe this: I never expose anything in you that I am not fully willing to heal. I never point out a wound unless I intend to touch it with my love. And if you yield to me, you will witness something miraculous. Those small things that once seemed insignificant, when removed, will open a new space for my grace to overflow. You will enter a lighter life, not because the pressures disappear, but because you no longer carry the weight alone. You will feel refreshed each morning, not because everything around you changes, but because something inside of you has been transformed. You will find your eyes brightened, your ears opened, and your heart burning again. Because I am the one who began a good work in you, and I myself will bring it to completion. So do not remain silent any longer. Do not deceive yourself into thinking you can continue this way. Do not let another day pass in spiritual dryness. Come back. Let me cleanse you. Let me replace the ordinary with the sacred. Let me sweep away all that you've been storing up inside, so I can fill you with new life. You are not alone in this battle. I am ready to fight for you, but you must open the door. You must say, Lord, I'm tired. Please come in and renew everything. If you do that, if you dare to place your heart into my hands, then everything will begin to change, little by little, day by day. And before long you will look back and not recognize yourself anymore, for you will have become the anointed, restored, and completely set free version of yourself in my name. So do not hesitate, my child. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to begin again, not by your own strength, but by my power. And if you are willing, I will not only heal you, I will use you to heal others who carry the same wounds you once bore. You will no longer live in silence, but with purpose. You will no longer merely survive, you will carry life itself. Come back to me. Don't wait for a grand sign. Don't wait until everything falls apart before you seek me. I am speaking to you now, in this very moment, while your heart still beats with longing, while the light still flickers within your spirit, while the voice of heaven still echoes in your soul like a tender bell. I say to you, it is not too late, even if you believe you've gone too far, even if you feel there's no way back. I am still the one who can do what no one else can. I can revive what seemed dead, restore what the years have stolen, and bring buried dreams to life again in a radiance greater than ever before. My beloved, I know you've been walking through dusty paths, places where everything feels the same, where days blend into one another, and your heart can no longer sense me as it once did. I know there are moments you wake up and wonder, why do I feel so unfamiliar to myself? What used to stir my passion? When was the last time I felt something sacred? It is because, on this journey, you have drifted from me, not with a giant step, but through 1,000 small ones, through choices that seemed harmless, through the times you postponed the promptings of my spirit, through the moments you let the noise of life drown out my whisper. But hear me clearly, my child, I have never withdrawn. I have never let you go. No matter how far your soul may have drifted, my eyes have never left you for a single moment. Even when you turned your back, my heart kept beating for you. Even when you stopped listening, I kept calling. I do not speak as a judge, I speak as a father. I do not call to strike fear into you, but to open a way home. A path flooded with light, overflowing with healing, and covered in unending mercy. And there is one thing I ask of you. Open the door of your heart. Let me enter, not as a visitor, but as the rightful owner returning to his dwelling. My child, your heart is not an aimless place. It is the temple I have chosen to inhabit, but that door cannot be broken down from the outside. It can only be opened from within, by you. You must be the one to decide. You must be the one to say, Lord, please come in. I am calling, and this time the call carries a weight. Not the weight of wrath, but of urgency. Because I know that if you keep delaying, if you keep living on autopilot, one day you will wake up and no longer recognize your own voice. You will look in the mirror and no longer see the light that once danced in your eyes. You will walk familiar roads and feel no pulse of life in your steps. And I do not want that for you. My child, this world will never stop trying to keep you busy. It will drown you in responsibilities, in news, in chaotic emotions, and in a creeping weariness. But remember this, my presence is not far away. The spiritual realm is not a distant dimension reserved for the few. No, it is near. It is as real as the breath you're breathing. It is present in every moment you pause to listen. It opens up when you humble yourself, when you admit you need something deeper, more solid, more eternal. I do not require you to come to me in perfection. On the contrary, I desire you to come with all your truth, with the brokenness, the mess, the unresolved pieces. I am not afraid of the chaos within you. I am not shocked by the weaknesses you try to hide. I have seen it all, and I still chose to love you. I still chose to fight for you. And now I stand at the door of your heart, no longer knocking softly, but pleading with urgency. Let me in, my child. Do you realize that you are living in the midst of a battle? Not a battle of gunfire or bloodshed, but a quiet war, unfolding daily in your mind, in the thoughts you entertain, in the emotions you choose to hold on to. It is a battle between truth and lies, between light and darkness, between my voice and the murmurs of the world. And the battlefield is not somewhere far off. It is within your very soul. Every time you believe the lie that says, "I'm not enough. It's too late. I've missed my chance," you are giving the enemy a foothold. Every time you remain silent when you should be praying, you surrender a part of the territory. Every time you choose comfort over the prompting of my spirit, the darkness gains ground. But my beloved, this battle is not over, and you have not failed. As long as you can still hear my voice, as long as your heart still stirs, hope is alive. My power is still enough to turn everything around. Begin again. No need to rush, no need to fix it all at once. Just take one simple step today. Bow your head, lift your hands, and whisper, "Lord, I'm coming back." I will come. Immediately, without delay, without hesitation, I will lift you up from the place where you have fallen. I will wash the dust of the road from your soul. I will revive the spiritual sensitivity you thought was gone. And you will see, day by day, step by step, my light will begin to shine clearly again. You will begin to hear my voice more distinctly. My presence will become more familiar to you than your own heartbeat. And once again, you will live. Not merely survive, but live with strength, with passion, and in the fullness of the life I created you to walk in. My beloved child, pause for a moment, not to rest, but to truly consider where you are standing. Give me a moment of your undivided attention, a brief stillness amid the rushing thoughts and relentless rhythm of daily life. You've been running for so long, hastily pursuing many things, often without realizing where you're running to, what you're running for, or who you're running with. Now I urgently invite you, take a closer look at yourself. Ask honestly, what path am I on? Who is walking beside me? Who is whispering into my thoughts each morning as I rise? What ideas have I allowed into my heart without discerning their source? I am not asking to judge you. I am asking because I long to rescue you. I do not demand an immediate answer, but I invite you to face the truth. Because every step you take carries weight. Every choice you make feeds into a current, either pulling you deeper into life or slowly drawing you away from the light. No step is neutral. No word is without consequence. Everything you agree with in your mind, a thought, a perspective, a way of thinking, is silently shaping your soul, either fortifying your faith or quietly dulling your spiritual sensitivity. And so I plead with you, do not dismiss this gentle warning. Do not take lightly the call to examine your heart. Do not assume that just because things seem fine for now, they will remain that way. Not everything that is quiet is healthy. Sometimes silence is the sign of spiritual numbness. False peace is merely a thin veil masking dangerous shifts happening in the unseen. Just because you don't see the danger doesn't mean it isn't present. Just because your soul hasn't cried out for help doesn't mean it is well. Be honest, my child. Lately, do you still feel your heart tremble when you hear my word? Do you still feel deeply moved when I speak into your dreams? Or has everything become dull, familiar, and distant? Do you remember the days when a single verse was enough to bring you to your knees in repentance, or when a worship song could move you to tears in the middle of the night? I know, because I am the one who once touched you. But what do I see now? I see the weariness in your eyes. I see the gaze that once sparkled with vision now clouded with confusion. I see you pretending that everything is fine, that you are strong, steady, unshaken. But deep down, you are breaking apart. And here is the truth. The trouble didn't just begin recently. It has been slowly weaving its way into every corner of your life, through unhealthy relationships, hidden compromises, wounds left unhealed, desires you haven't dared to confront. It didn't come loudly. It crept in like a familiar friend, like a daily habit, like a careless word. But it came with the intention of bending your path, of pulling you away from the current of grace. My child, I do not reveal these things to shame you. I reveal them to rescue you. Because right now, at this very moment, you are standing at a crossroads. Not a vague hesitation, but a decision powerful enough to shape your entire future. One path is the way you've been walking. Predictable, familiar, unchallenged. But it leads to a place I never intended for you. The other path is the way back. Difficult, requiring humility and repentance, but it leads to life, to restoration, to being one with me again. And now, you can choose to keep living as though everything is still normal. You can keep telling yourself, it's okay. I'm still reading the Bible, still praying, still going to church. Things aren't that bad. But my child, I did not call you to live a life that's not that bad. I called you to a life that is full, powerful, ablaze with the Holy Spirit, saturated with my presence and authority. I did not create you for mediocrity. I did not pour out my Spirit upon you for you to live half-heartedly. I did not call you only to watch you merely survive like a shadow passing through time. So, my child, I am offering you a chance. A door is opening for you even now. It is the opportunity to return, not with fear, but with hope. Not under condemnation, but into the arms of forgiveness. Not in shame, but into the glory of restoration. You don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to be strong anymore. You only need to be real. Real with yourself and real with me. Remember this: I never grow weary of loving you. I do not give up because you are slow to return. I do not reject you because you are weak. On the contrary, I have been waiting for you. Day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment. My love is not based on your performance, but on my nature. Faithful, merciful, unchanging. If you decide to return today, you will not walk in darkness. I will lead you step by step through the pain, through the regret, through the many layers you've built to hide your fears and sadness. I will walk with you, not only on mountaintops, but also through the deepest valleys. And you will see, though you had wandered far from me, I have never been far from you. My beloved child, if while listening to these words, your heart begins to stir, your throat tightens, and tears fall without a clear reason, know this is not a coincidence. Do not be quick to dismiss these emotions. Do not try to hide or suppress them. It is I who am here. It is my presence that is covering you, saturating every cell of your soul like morning dew falling upon parched ground. What you sense is the whisper of love from the one who never stops pursuing you, a whisper not only to comfort but to awaken, to call you back, to draw you away from a dangerous edge that you do not even realize you are nearing. My child, I know these words are not easy for you to hear. They are not gentle. They do not soothe like lullabies. But I must speak them, because I love you too much to stay silent while you approach the edge of a cliff. I love you too truly to pretend everything is fine. No, my child, everything is not fine. There is something happening deep within your soul. A silent current is slowly draining your joy, your life, and your faith. Little by little, a quiet descent has begun, not loud, not obvious, but deeply dangerous. You are standing too close to the edge, closer than you think, closer than anyone else can see. A single, impulsive choice, a distorted thought left uncorrected, a negative emotion left unchecked. Any of these could ignite a fire that burns down the path you've walked thus far. You may think you are still in control, that you're doing just fine, but deep down you know you are struggling. You are trying to hold everything together with your own strength. You are carrying burdens that you have not dared to share with anyone, and because no one sees it, you feel even more pressure to appear strong. But, my child, I do not look at outward appearances. I see into your soul, and what I see is weariness, exhaustion, a loss of direction. Be honest with me, my child. How long has it been since your soul felt truly refreshed? How long since you trembled in my presence? How long has prayer become a mere habit and reading the Word just another task to check off, rather than a quest to find me? Have you noticed how the light that once burned brightly in you now only flickers? How your spiritual clarity has grown dim, how the confidence you once had, the boldness in your faith, the certainty of your calling, has turned into vague uncertainty. This is what happens when you linger too long near the edge, not because you deliberately turned away from me, but because you allowed yourself to quietly drift through small compromises, through seemingly harmless choices, through silence in moments when I nudged your heart. Darkness doesn't have to crash in to claim you. It only needs you to get used to life without the light. It only needs you to stop yearning for the sacred, to stop thirsting for my presence, and day by day, it will make you forget who you are. My beloved, I say again, what I speak today is not to shame you, but to wake you. Not to condemn, but to rescue. Not to make you feel less than, but to remind you. You were born to walk in glory, not in this clouded weariness. I created you to carry light, not to dwell in gray shadows. I called you to blaze with fire, not to smolder in silence. And I, the one who sees every hidden danger, am raising my voice before you fall. so you might turn back in time, so you might be healed before the wound becomes beyond repair. Oh, my child, maybe no one else knows what you're going through, but I do. I've seen the nights you lie awake, not from busyness, but because your mind is a storm of confusion. I've heard your sighs, those deep, wordless sighs even you don't understand. Sighs heavy with burdens you cannot name. I see the moments when you serve, but your eyes carry sorrow. The moments you serve, but your heart feels empty. The moments you strive, but forget what for. And that is why I must speak today. Do not think that I have abandoned you. If I have remained silent for a time, it is not because I am absent. It is because I have been waiting for the moment you truly need me. I have waited until you are ready to stop relying on your own strength. I have waited until you are willing to admit, Lord, I can't do this anymore. Because when you reach the end of yourself, that is when you begin to touch the power of mine. When you have nothing left to cling to, I will be the solid rock beneath your feet. But you must choose. I will not force you to return. I will not drag you away from the edge. I can call. I can warn. I can reach out. But the final decision remains yours. You can continue living as you are, trying to hold it all together, pretending you're fine, telling yourself, I just need to push through a little longer. But that very choice may take you a few more steps closer to the abyss, or you can stop. Right now, lay everything down. Open your heart and say to me, Father, I need you. I don't want to stand near the darkness for another minute. And if you do that, if you dare to be honest, I promise, deliverance will not delay. My presence will pour down like an unstoppable waterfall. I will not only pull you back from the edge, but I will lift you to a higher place than before. I will not merely heal you, I will completely renew you. I will restore the joy of salvation. I will bring back your vision, reignite your voice, and set aflame once more the fire you thought was gone. For my beloved child, I have never given up on you, not even when you gave up on yourself. And today, if these words ache in your heart, know this. It is a healing pain, a pain that signals your soul still responds to the truth, that the flame can still be rekindled. Do not silence that feeling. Do not let this calling pass by like a fleeting breeze. If your tears are falling, don't rush to wipe them away. Let them flow, for they are washing off the dust that has settled on your soul. If your heart is trembling, do not fear. It is a sign that I am touching the deepest places you thought were sealed off. And if you are hearing something beyond words, that is me, whispering, calling, waiting for you to respond. My dearest beloved, if you are listening, if something within you is stirring as you read these words, then do not remain silent. Do not ignore the call I am sending in this sacred moment. I am inviting you to come closer, not to interrogate or scold you, but to bring you back to where you truly belong. And in order to do that, you must understand this. Restoration does not come through striving alone, but through opening your heart to receive what I am ready to give. Ask me for strength, not human strength, but power from the highest. Strength that goes beyond weariness, beyond every fall, beyond the hollow emptiness and meaninglessness. I will not hesitate. I will not delay. If you call upon me with a sincere heart, I will answer without delay. Say to me, Lord, I can't go on by myself anymore. Please strengthen me, and from the very depths of your soul, I will plant a new life within you, a wellspring of living water that never runs dry, refreshing every barren place in your spirit. Ask me for guidance, for I am the light of the path, the unchanging truth in a world full of uncertainty. You are living in an age where thousands of voices clamor daily to pull your soul in their direction. But only one voice will never deceive you, and that is mine. I am the one who made a way in the wilderness, who carved a path through the sea, and I will do the same in your life. Do not be afraid if you do not know which way to go. Just return to me, and I will illuminate each step, even the ones that seem invisible now. But you must be honest. You must genuinely desire to step out of the danger zone where you've remained for far too long. I cannot force you out if your heart still clings to it. I cannot lift you up if your hands are still gripping the very things that are wounding your soul. You must let go. Let go of everything, even the things you consider small, even the silent compromises, even the relationships you know are unhealthy, but still hold on to because of your fear of loneliness, even the dreams you've built for yourself without ever asking me. My child, right now you are standing dangerously close to a slippery edge. Just one misstep, one distorted thought, one decision made in a moment of confusion, any of these could pull you into a place darker than you've ever known. I'm not saying this to instill fear, but to help you understand the seriousness of your current state. I am the one who sees all outcomes before they unfold, and I do not want you to pay with years of your life for a single moment of blindness. So, if you reach out your hand, I will take hold of it immediately. You don't need to climb up by your own strength. You don't need to be okay first. All I need is a small gesture, a faint cry from the bottom of your heart, a reaching out through your tears, a silent surrender. And I will set your feet upon the solid rock again, in a safe place, on the land where you will rediscover laughter, light, and life. But you must pay attention, truly observe, whether you've started to accept the abnormal as normal. Are you calling pain just a part of life? Are you telling yourself, everyone goes through this, even while your heart is breaking inside? Are you allowing negative voices to redefine your worth? If so, that is a sign. A clear sign that your soul is in need of care, not from an external solution, not from fleeting words of encouragement, but from the healing that comes from me, the one who has engraved your name on the palm of my hand. My dear child, I know exactly where the wound began. I know the years you held yourself together. I know the betrayals, the shattered dreams, the promises that faded like morning mist. And each of those wounds over time has caused you to forget what true peace feels like. Now, you think that living emotionally numb is normal, that not hearing emotional numb is normal, that not hearing me is just because this season is dry, that not feeling spiritual fire is something everyone goes through. But I have come to tell you, no, that is not normal. It is not okay. And I do not want you to accept that way of living for one more day. True peace does not mean the absence of hardship. It means having me in every circumstance. It means that when storms come, your heart remains unmoved. That when everything you once trusted falls apart, you still stand, because you know I am the unshakable rock. True peace does not come from everything going right on the outside, but from the deep assurance that within you dwells the living one who holds you. So then, my child, if your soul is crying out, even if you haven't said a word, know this: I have already heard you, and I am responding. You don't need to diagnose your own spiritual condition. I see it more clearly than anyone ever could, and I know exactly what you need. Perhaps you need rest, not rest in the physical sense, but rest in my presence. In that place, you don't need to do anything to be loved. You don't need to explain. You don't need to prove yourself. Just be. Perhaps you need to weep, truly, deeply, not because you are weak, but because you've been holding yourself together for too long. Perhaps you simply need to hear me say, you don't have to keep striving. I'm here now, my child. When you finally stop and dare to look directly into the pain, not to escape it, but to invite me into it, that is when healing begins. No one is meant to live their whole life in a constant state of just getting by. You were not created to merely drift through fleeting emotions or to survive in spiritual numbness. You were made to be fully alive, to love deeply, to connect genuinely, to burn passionately for your calling and identity in me. Let me remind you once again, you are not alone. I am still here, and I will not abandon you. No matter how many times you fall, no matter how far you've wandered, as long as you still draw breath, hope still lives. And today I am not only bringing hope, I am bringing life. I am opening a second door. I am breaking every invisible burden that has been pressing down on your soul. Reach out your hand, my child. Don't hesitate. Don't overthink. All it takes is a whisper. Lord, help me. And I, your God, your Father, your King, will come to you immediately. There will be no more cliffs to stand on. Only my mighty hand lifting you up, and a brand new journey awaiting you ahead. Because you were made to live truly, to live rightly, to live in the light. And never again will I allow you to walk alone in the shadows. For I, yes I, myself, am the light sent to your soul. And that light will never be extinguished. If you still dare to believe, if you still dare to return, and if today you dare to open your heart truly, then all the old things will begin to fade away, and all things new, brighter than ever, will begin. Right now, right here, with you. The nameless sighs, the sleepless nights wrapped in silence, the dull ache deep inside your heart, none of these are things you must simply endure as part of growing up. They are signals, alarms ringing, cries for help from your very soul, cries you've tried to silence with busyness, with polite smiles, with automatic replies that say, I'm fine. But you know it and I know it. Things are not fine. You're trying to keep going, clinging to some thin thread of hope, trying to appear strong in the eyes of others. You smile in conversations, you finish your tasks, you stay present in your relationships, but inside, you feel like an abandoned house. Empty, cold, with the wind whispering through cracks only you can feel. You no longer feel the fire. You no longer sense my presence as you once did. And perhaps you're asking yourself, what happened to me, my child? The world will tell you that this is adulthood, that it's just a phase, that it will pass. But I have not come to lull you with vague platitudes. I have come to reveal the truth. And the truth is this: you are carrying a deep wound, not in your flesh, but in the most sacred part of you. Your soul is fractured, and if you do not turn back to me, if you do not allow me to enter, if you continue pretending everything is okay, then that wound will deepen. It will grow heavier until it becomes numb beyond recognition. I know you're trying. I see you, day after day, night after night, telling yourself, just a little more. Just get through this week. Just finish this one thing. But, my child, there are things you cannot overcome by sheer willpower. There are wounds that cannot be healed by simply moving on. There are burdens that cannot be lifted by smiling through them. And there are sorrows that time alone cannot mend. You need something deeper than that. You need me. So when you find yourself utterly exhausted, yet still trying to stay strong, when you feel like you're breaking into pieces but still have to offer comfort to others, when your heart is unraveling, yet you're expected to play the role of the stable one, stop. Stop before it all becomes too much to bear. Stop, not to give up, but to lift your eyes and say, Lord, I can't go on like this anymore. Please meet me right here where I am, and I will come. In that very stillness, not with thunder or lightning, not with grand displays of miracles, but with gentleness, so tender that only trembling souls can perceive it. I will not ask you to keep performing. I will not demand an explanation for your weakness. I will not interrogate what brought you here. I already know. And I have not come to question you, but to heal you. I will step into the dark chamber inside you, the one you've never let anyone come near. I will touch the wounds you've denied, the ones you've hidden because you believed they made you unlovable, unworthy. I will begin to unwind every chain you've wrapped around your heart, the accusations, the painful memories, the shattered dreams, and I will whisper into your soul, you don't need to try any harder. You just need to let me take it from here. The world has taught you to keep pushing through, but I did not design you to push through life. I created you to live fully, freely, vibrantly, not to appear strong while silently falling apart, not to survive behind a polished mask. I want you to live as the one I called you to be, a child of light, a child of truth, a citizen of an unshakable kingdom. My beloved, do not be afraid when I touch the places you've tried to hide. Do not fear the tears, the trembling, the unraveling of your outer shell. That is not defeat. It is the beginning of healing. It is the moment a wound is exposed so it can finally begin to heal. Truly, you have carried this too long. You've buried the pain too deep. You've held yourself together too tightly. But today, I want you to know, you don't have to live that way anymore. I have been waiting, not for your strength, but for your surrender. Because it is in surrender that true freedom begins. Step into my presence. Pause, close your eyes, and breathe out every fear. Let me hold you. With a presence more tender than any embrace, deeper than any word, let me speak to your soul and say, you are still worthy, even when you feel nothing. You are still chosen, even if you believe you've missed your chance. You are still loved, even if you've forgotten how to love yourself. My beloved, I am speaking to you in this very moment, because my heart aches as I see you inching closer to a cliff you do not even realize is there. I cannot stay silent knowing that just one step more and you could slip into a deep place where the soul is wrapped in the fog of indifference, where the light inside you fades quietly, unnoticed. I cannot look away from the vision of you merely existing instead of truly living. I did not create you to be a shadow drifting through the days, living by habit, laughing as though everything is fine, while inside you are crumbling. You've felt it already, haven't you? Those quiet nights where the emptiness within is so loud it echoes. Those mornings when you wake up heavy-hearted, not knowing why tears fall, even before a single word is spoken. You think it's just a fleeting emotion, but in truth, it is the urgent cry from the deepest part of your soul. The part you've locked away for far too long. I've whispered into your heart, sent gentle signals through your circumstances, but time and again you brushed them off, thinking there would be more time, that things would eventually work out. But my child, that is a grave mistake, a dangerous illusion, because time waits for no one, and every delay, every misstep, carries consequences, even the silent ones. You have known it deep within. You've seen the things around you that weren't right, yet you chose to keep going. You sensed that something inside was off, but you brushed it aside. You convinced yourself it was just a phase, that you were strong enough to endure it. But you are weary, not because you are weak, but because you've carried the weight for too long. You are hurting, not because I have abandoned you, but because you've shut the door of your heart to me, leaving it barely ajar. Just enough to survive, but not enough for me to fully restore what was broken. I have come today not to accuse, but to awaken. Not to frighten you, but to remind you that you now stand at a crossroads between life and forgetfulness. You can continue down the familiar path, the one that's been slowly draining your spirit, or you can stop, turn around, and let me lead you on a new path. A path that leads to abundant life, to true light, and to a peace this world could never offer. What you choose today will shape the course of your tomorrow. The thoughts you nurture, the words you believe, the silent compromises you accept, all of them are sculpting your destiny. Do not take it lightly. Don't assume that a little surrender, a small retreat, or a minor compromise won't matter, because that's exactly how the darkness slips in. Not with loud roars, but with gentle whispers, seemingly harmless choices, and temporary concessions. And one day, you'll wake up startled, no longer recognizing the person you've become. My child, today I offer you an invitation, not a threat, but a chance. A door opening when it seemed there was no way out. A light breaking through a weary soul. I am calling you back. I am reaching out, not to drag you against your will, but to welcome you home with an unchanging love. And if you say yes, I will not only bring you out of the darkness, I will transform that very dry and barren land into a place of blessing. I will take the very things that caused your pain and use them to build you up, stronger and more radiant than ever before. Don't delay the healing you've longed for. Don't bury the pain any longer. Don't call what is toxic acceptable. Don't allow what is diminishing you to keep ruling your life. Don't pretend that things will magically change if you do nothing. You need to act. You need to speak. You need to tell me that you want to come back. That you want to live again. That you can't do this alone anymore. You don't have to prove anything to me. You don't need to earn my favor to be worthy of restoration. It is precisely because you're not strong enough, not holy enough, not okay enough, that I have come. I'm not looking for the perfect. I'm looking for the willing. And even if all that's left of your heart today is a fragment, even if only a flicker of fire remains, I will come. I will breathe upon that spark. I will rebuild your soul from the ruins. Let me do that. Don't look back at the past through the lens of regret. Don't blame yourself for how far things have gone. Look to me, the one who makes all things new. The one who is not limited by time, by failures, or by circumstances. If you are still breathing, then hope still lives. And if you are reading these words, then you are being called. Therefore, my child, choose life. Choose the light. Choose to let go of everything that has kept you distant from me, whether it be pain, shame, or wounds that have never been named. Let me come in, reach the very depths of your weariness, and give you a new beginning. Not a beginning from nothing, but a beginning right at the place where you were broken, because it is in that very place that I will craft something most beautiful. And when that moment comes, you will not only be healed, you will become a sign to others. You will carry within you the story of restoration. You will walk with a kind of light that cannot be hidden, for it does not come from you. It comes from me, the one who lifted you up when everyone else turned away. The one who loved you not because you were good, but because you are mine. I am here, not far, not hiding, not silent, only waiting for you to speak, only waiting for you to truly turn back. And if today you say, "Help me, Lord," that will be the first step of the greatest journey of your life, the journey home. Now lift up to me your most sincere prayer. Lord, the one who called my name among tens of thousands of souls, I hear the voice thundering from eternity. When the archangel Michael arose and summoned me, my soul trembled, not because I am worthy, but because you chose me before the foundations of the world. I cannot turn away. I no longer wish to run. Though I tremble, though I cannot yet see the road ahead clearly, today I respond. Here I am, Lord. Please inscribe this response into the book of life as an irrevocable covenant. I do not belong to this world. I belong to the mission that was ordained from your throne. Lord, I cannot walk this appointed mission by my own strength. If you do not go with me, I cannot move forward. If you do not speak, I cannot understand. Please lead me step by step, decision by decision, breath by breath. Do not let me be swept away by emotions, nor let me drift off the heavenly path because of fear or doubt. Make my ears attuned to your voice, and my heart firm in your confirmation. Even if the wilderness is long, even if the night is deep, if you are there, I will not turn back. Lord, I bring before you everything that has held me back, the wounds that remain unhealed, the words that once crippled my faith, the memories that smolder in the corners of my soul. Please remove them. Use your mighty hand to break every invisible chain that dims the clarity of my true identity. I am no longer a victim of the past, nor a prisoner of judgment. I am a warrior anointed by you. I have been called out not merely to survive, but to act, not to hide, but to stand firm on the front line. Lord, clothe me in the armor of light. Pour out upon me strength from on high. In this very moment when my name is being called across heaven and earth, I cannot go forward in my own strength. Grant me courage that does not come from the flesh, perseverance that is unshaken by circumstances, and endurance to the end that only grace can give. Place in my hands the spiritual weapons, powerful prayer, blazing worship, complete obedience, and unwavering faith. I do not want to merely carry the title of the chosen. I want to live worthy of that calling every single day. Lord, among the multitude of voices, I need only one word from you to confirm who I truly am. I do not want to live according to the gaze of people or the judgment of man. I need confirmation from your throne that I am the chosen one, the warrior of light, the one entrusted with a sacred mission. Let that name echo in my soul so loudly that no force can ever cause me to forget it. Etch deeply into my mind the truth that I am not here by chance in this very hour. I am the answer that was prepared before the beginning of time. Lord, my soul bows down in deep gratitude. Thank you for seeing me among the multitudes. Thank you for choosing me, not because I was worthy or capable, but because your love is greater than all my failings. Thank you for sending Archangel Michael to call me by name, even when I was beginning to forget the sound of heaven's voice. Thank you for not requiring perfection, only willingness. Thank you for never abandoning me in battle, but going with me, accompanied by the host of heavenly angels. Today, I do not merely give thanks. I live to respond. And every step I take will be a song of praise, lifted to your glory. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the life-giving, powerful messages from Him. Together, we will grow in faith and live a life fully immersed in His love. Amen.